welcome to Great Day Hollywood. I hope you all had a nice weekend. We have a good one for you, so let's get started with our first guest. Berry season is underway. Oh yeah, so it's time for some sweet creations to celebrate with family and friends. Joining us right now today is Chef Ali Rosen, who is teaming up with Driscoll's to share new recipes that capture the sweetness of summer. Welcome, Ali. Nice to see you.
Hi, Noah. Thanks for having me back.
Yes. You know what? Every time we have you on the show, I know summer is right around the corner. So it's nice to see you again. And it's so funny that you said that you feel like you're dressed like a berry because I love the red. It matches the red set that we have.
Thank you so much.
Now, Ali, you have delicious berries on site with you, but why are berries always the highlight of summer menus? Talk to us about that.
Well, I think we're all looking in the summer for something that we can eat that's delicious, that feels great outdoors with picnics, but also doesn't take very much time, right? Like, my cookbook is literally called 15-minute meals. Like, I am always looking for whatever is simplest and you can kind of get away with. So berries are the ultimate for that, right? Like, they're as simple as can be and they're totally delicious. And when you put them on top of something, it just makes any dish better.
Oh, I completely agree with you. And you know, what's an easy way to add a fresh twist to every get-together? Because a lot of family, friends will be getting together for those summer backyard parties.
Yes. I mean, one of my favorites, especially for like those of you watching who like, I can't cook. I love this spicy summer fruit salad. Yeah, it's like if you can use a knife, you can make this salad, right? It is, you know, berries, whatever berries you want with whatever stone fruit you want, and then mixed in with a little bit of jalapeno and mint. So all you have to do is chop that up and put it together, and you have this like tangy, sweet, spicy concoction that everyone will be like, wow, that's so creative. And you're like, thank you, I chopped some things.
That looks amazing. Oh my goodness. I love it. I mean, you're making me so hungry in the morning.
I know, like, sorry.
I wish I had the berries right now. You know?
I know.
Now, how can you find the freshest berries? Because a lot of us want to find great fresh berries, and when you find the freshest ones, they taste the best, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? We've all had those berries where you bite into them and you're like, where is the flavor? And so that's one of the reasons that I love partnering with Driscoll's, and I do it so frequently, is because when you open a box, you know what you're getting, but it's also, you can see it, right? Like visually, they're beautiful. You can smell it, like the aroma is great. And then when you bite into it, you know the taste is going to be good. So it's really, Driscoll's does a lot of research and development to make sure that the flavors are what they're supposed to be when you open a box of strawberries, because there's really nothing more disappointing. So, you know, look at the box, smell the box, know exactly what you're getting, and that's why I love working with Driscoll's.
I love that. Driscoll's really has great produce. Now, can you recommend a quick and easy crowd pleaser for everybody that will be attending a summer backyard party this year?
Yeah, so I mean, everybody loves a cobbler, right? I think a berry cobbler is the ultimate. Like, we've all had those cobblers where it's like the fruits you don't want, right? Like, just do it with all berries, and then everyone will be thrilled. So, you know, you can use whatever, like whatever you like. But I mean, I love raspberries and blackberries in particular in a cobbler, and those are so in season right now. And then you just top it off with whatever biscuit recipe you have, or whatever even like pre-done biscuit you have. Throw it in the oven, and you have a dessert that will be like bubbly and delicious and make everybody happy.
Oh, that sounds so good. I'm gonna have to use that. Now, Ali, can you share a recipe for any easy-to-make snack to take anywhere? Because we're always traveling, you know, during the summertime.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you're traveling, or you have the afternoon, like where the kids are at a sports game, or you're going for a hike. I love these cheesecake bars because they're super simple to make. Everybody loves cheesecake. And you can top them with berries, and you can just sort of like wrap them up and take them on the go. So if you want something that is just easy to take with you and sort of always pull out, I love cheesecake bars. I just think they're the simplest.
A sweet treat for us all. Oh, I love cheesecake. If you don't love cheesecake,
yeah, like,
hello.
Don't come near me if you don't like cheesecake. Like, what are you doing?
I know, it's so good. Now, Ali, tell us, where should we go for more information to find all these recipes that you have told us about this morning, and tips as well?
Yeah, so if you want to see all of these recipes, or if you want to learn more about what we've been talking about, you can just go to Driscolls.com. It's as easy as that.
easy peasy. Driscolls.com. We'll have that website below. By the way, Allie, any fun plans for the summer season?
Oh, I have so many plans. I'm taking my daughter to Taylor Swift, so I'm winning Mom of the Year, I think.
What? Mom of the Year for a Swiftie. Oh, that's amazing.
Swiftie, yeah.
So where will you be going to see Taylor Swift at? Is she coming in your neck of the woods?
She's not coming anywhere in my neck of the woods. She's going to be in Amsterdam. So it is.
Oh my God, Amsterdam.
Yeah, it's going to be. So that's my big summer. That's my big summer excitement. So yeah, I'm gonna pack
That's a
some
big
cheesecake
summer event for
bars
you.
and go on a trip with my girl.
Well, when you come back on the show, I'll have to follow up with you and ask you how was the trip to Amsterdam to see Taylor Swift.
I mean,
take lots of pictures.
I'm going to.
for
Yeah,
us.
it's for July 4th, so I feel like everyone else will be having their picnics, and I will be.
Oh my
Swiftying
goodness,
it up.
I love that. Good for you, Allie. Well, you'll have a fun time with your daughter. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. Always so nice to see you. You look lovely.
Thank you so
and you
much.
take care and have a great day, Allie.
Thanks, you too, Noah. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye-bye. A new report finds Americans across all demographics play video games. 3 out of 5 Americans ages 5 to 90 play video games at least 1 hour each week. I got to chat with Stanley Pierre-Louis, the president and CEO of the Entertainment Software Association, and here is what he had to say. Check out my interview with Stanley.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Now, Stanley, what are some typical misconceptions about video gamers out there?
Well, every year the Entertainment Software Association conducts a survey to understand U.S. demographics, to get player perceptions, and to really see what people think about the video game sector. And we were excited to see that video games remain a favorite pastime of Americans. More than 190 million people play video games in the U.S. That's more than 61%. And it covers every demographic and really correlates to U.S. demographics. A lot of people have a conception in their head of who a video gamer is. In this year's report, we found that 46% of people who play games are women. We also found that for people age 50 and older, 29% of them say they play video games. This is a real stark departure from where we were in 1999 when 9% in that category said they play video games. So we really span every category, and there is really a game for everyone.
I am so fascinated that a lot of women like to play video games. That's amazing. Go women. Yeah, they love to play video games too, just like us guys. I love to play the GameCube. I'm still an oldie, or the Wii. Those are like my things that I like to play if I'm doing any sort of video games. But Stanley, what are some of the benefits of playing video games? Talk to us about that too.
Well, the number one reason people play video games is because it's fun. But what we have found, particularly at a time when people are thinking about mental health and wellness, is that video games actually provide us with a lot of great outlets. 77% of people say that video games provide them with mental stimulation, and 76% say it provides them with relaxation. And we know that for older gamers, they want to play because of mental acuity, just keeping themselves really sharp. So there are a lot of great benefits to playing beyond the fun that we all really enjoy.
My grandparents, they always loved to come to our house on a weekend and play bowling on the Wii. I mean, that was like their game of choice. They loved playing bowling. And, it was so much fun. It was really so much fun, Stanley. Now, what types of games are kids playing currently now, and how can games benefit their learning?
Well, kids love all kinds of games, arcade games, puzzle games, action games. What's really important, though, is that video games have two great benefits for kids. One, teaching them how to learn. Kids really love playing and seeing what's not only on the screen, but understanding what's behind the screen. And that inspiration really leads kids to do a lot of amazing things. And we were talking about women who play games. Young girls who play video games are 3 times as likely to get a STEM degree in college. So it really serves as a really important inspirational proof point. I think beyond that, there are emotional benefits and emotional learning that kids can get from games. For example, playing as others, you're learning empathy. Playing with others, you're learning collaboration. And playing through all those levels of games and grinding it out really teaches you perseverance and resilience. So you have fun, you have academic learning, and you have emotional learning all through games.
Well, Stanley, this is the great time to be having this conversation because kids are out of school for the summer, so the kids and the families can all, be playing the video games, whatever they enjoy to play the most, and maybe it will get them a nice little degree. Yeah, I mean, for the girls out there in college. That's impressive stuff. Now, Stanley, tell us about the 30th anniversary of the Entertainment Software Association and how you've seen gaming change over the decades.
Well, we've been excited to represent this industry for 30 years and to see the growth that it's had. From an economic standpoint, in 1998, for example, the industry was $5.5 billion in revenues. This past year is 57.2, so we've seen a tenfold increase in the past 25 years. But beyond that, more people are playing and playing on different platforms. I told you before, 190 million plus people playing video games. Back in 2001, that was 146 million people. So we've seen the growth in terms of people who play. We've also seen the growth in people who are older who are playing. 9% of people 50 and older were playing in 1999. Today, that's 29%. We've also seen how they access the games being different. So in 2012, 33% of people played video games through mobile games and their mobile devices. Today, that's 78%. And in 1999, 18% of people said that they played games online. Today, that's almost 90%. So we're seeing the number of people play increase, the scope and range and age, but also how they're accessing games.
I love that. The number of people playing video games is on the rise, everyone. Yes, I love that. Now, Stanley, just a fun question to ask you. Do you play video games in your spare time?
I do, and because I'm a parent, I also like to play with my son, and so what he's playing is what I usually play, although he's gotten so good that it's made it very difficult for me to keep up with what he's doing. So we've played a lot of games together, and I'm one of those parents who plays with his kid. Right now, 72% of people who play are parents, and 83% of them play with their kids. So we're seeing a lot of opportunities for parents to connect with their kids, to learn what's appropriate, and they can do that by visiting the esrb.org, which is the site for the Entertainment Software Rating Board. They provide ratings for games, so that's age appropriateness, describing the content, and how you can limit time and money spent if that's what you want to do as a family. So lots of opportunities for adults who are parents to also play with their kids.
Nice. We'll have that information appearing below. By the way, Stanley, since you were saying that you play video games with your son, what is the hottest video game that you're currently seeing right now that your son is very into that you think other kids are probably into as well?
Well, here's what's interesting. If you look at the past year, 87% of games were rated teen or younger, which means there are thousands of games available for every demographic. And if you look at the top 5 games, 4 of them were rated E or E plus 10, E 10 years old. Games like Hogwarts Legacy were hot, but then you have mainstays like the Mario games, and obviously people saw during COVID Animal Crossing being a lot of fun for folks. So we're seeing games across every demographic and every type be really popular today, but you're seeing an overwhelming number of games that can be accessed by kids and young adults.
And who doesn't love Mario? It's such a classic. Mario, Pac-Man. I love Pac-Man too. That's a little fun arcade game right there. Well, Stanley, it's been so nice to have you on the show, my friend. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll have all the information appearing below for anyone interested in learning more. Stanley, you take care. You have a great day and have a nice summer with your family.
Thanks so much. You can learn more about this report and our organization at theesa.com. That's THEESA.com.
Jason Kudrikow, the Senior Talent Strategy Advisor at Indeed, shares tips on how to stand out in a sea of resumes and highlight AI-based solutions like Indeed's new smart sourcing tool that can help make the hiring process faster and simpler and more efficient for both employers and job seekers. I got to speak with Jason a few weeks ago, and here is what he had to say about this topic. Check out my chat with Jason.
Good morning. Great to see you as well.
Now, Jason, what are some of the biggest challenges that job seekers and employers face today and, really on a daily basis?
Yeah, so there's definitely some similarities. But with regards to job seekers, first and foremost, what we hear is that finding a job is a full-time job, right? What we've heard is it's time intensive. And unfortunately, that individual, the job seeker, doesn't necessarily know if Their people on the other end, the talent acquisition professional, is actually seeing and or reading their resume. Also, I mentioned resume. Job seekers literally have to rely on a piece of paper, right? That piece of paper has to educate somebody on the other end that this person can do the job. There needs to be a way, job seekers need to have a better way to ultimately represent their skill set, their qualifications, and then their preferences. And then lastly, what we've heard, the job search process also ineffective, inefficient, and ultimately it frustrates job seekers. And when it frustrates them, they have a chip on their shoulder, if you will. Now, with regards to the employers, a couple things. The hiring process is challenged for these individuals, especially when it comes to sourcing candidates. When I refer to sourcing, they have to find them, looking at resumes, sourcing, searching for resumes. Also, hiring managers and recruiters source and find and connect the talent is not working as it once used to. Why? Because employers are doing the same things they did 5-6 years ago to hire talent. They're not changing. And job seekers' behavior is changing. What it comes down to, Noah, is this. There's a disconnect, right? Employers are speaking one language and the job seekers are speaking another. So our goal is ultimately to bridge that gap.
Absolutely. And speaking of sourcing, tell us about smart sourcing and how it will help job seekers and companies out there.
Yeah, so I just mentioned there's a communication gap, right? And I also just mentioned that our goal is to help bridge that. And we're super excited about smart sourcing because ultimately it's going to do just that. We're utilizing artificial intelligence to ultimately provide access for employers to a large candidate pool, over 300 million active, sourceable, searchable profiles. Also, we're going to provide the ability to review relevant and quality talent. So when employers find people, we're going to help create a message, a customized message to that candidate. We're going to take the information from the job seeker's resume and the information that you have with regards to your requirements, and we're going to create an AI customized message to that particular candidate, right? So you're going to call out specific things that person, right? They're going to talk the language those job seekers are speaking.
Yeah.
Also, we're going to have a faster connections. What we mean here is when you find somebody, reach out to them. Don't hesitate. And through our platform, you can send text, call them from your computer. You can send them calendar invites. Again, a way to quickly communicate with these individuals in the way they want to be communicated with.
Nice. Good job indeed. I love it. Now, Jason, share your best tips for getting hired in today's job market because, a lot of us, like you were saying, we're looking for jobs, but it can be a full-time job looking for a job. What?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, if you do not have a profile on Indeed as a job seeker, go and set up a profile. It takes a few minutes, right? Put in your key information. If you do have a profile, make sure it's up to date. A lot of times job seekers will create a profile and set it and forget it. Here's the thing, you're doing yourself a disservice. Every day, every week, every month, you're growing as a professional. Make sure you're updating that process. And then once that all happens, sort of sit back and let smart sourcing take over. What we mean, smart sourcing is going to help alleviate any of that pressure that you have as a job seeker by creating efficiencies for employers to find relevant candidates, ultimately bringing relevant jobs to you, the job seeker. This is going to serve as that bridge, as we had talked about, right? We're going to bridge that gap between employer and job seeker.
Now, Jason, what are some future hiring trends, and how does AI play a role in that?
AI is here. AI is not going anywhere, and AI is going to evolve. So we're fortunate enough to work with a bunch of economists, senior economists at Indeed, and they've done a ton of research. Their research indicates that virtually every single job is going to be impacted by Gen AI in some capacity. Now, as a job seeker, we need to evolve. And as employers, we need to evolve, right? Evolve with the technology. But at its core, right, for the employer, you got to be strategic. AI is a great tool, but it's only going to take you so far. You're going to need that human connection, that human connectivity. At the end of the day, AI is ultimately going to help complete those administrative tasks, right? And ultimately leave room for that human touch.
AI is a great tool, but you got to know how to use it, folks. Jason, it's been so nice to have you on the show. Tell us now, where can we go for more information?
Well, if you're currently utilizing Indeed and you have a representative and you know that individual, reach out to them. They can help you out. But for those who don't, all you got to do is go to Indeed.com.
Nice. We'll have that website below. Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show. You were awesome indeed. Ha! See what I did there, Jason? Jason.
I appreciate that. No, have a great day. Thank you so much.
Dr. Kyle Bukowski is sharing why routine screenings are the cornerstone of women's health. Dr. Bukowski is explaining the importance of a universal screening approach to help curb the ongoing epidemic of sexually transmitted infections, STIs. Welcome, Dr. Bukowski. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much, Noah, for having me and for talking to me today about the rising rates of STIs, sexually transmitted infections, in the United States. The CDC recently released their STI surveillance report for 2022, which showed yet again rising rates of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and other sexually transmitted infections, with over 2.5 million cases being identified, half of which are in young people aged 15 to 24. And the CDC specifically calls out that we need better and new strategies to address this epidemic, things like opt-out screening or universal screening. Screening needs to be an essential part of every regular checkup and preventative visit because STIs can happen to anybody regardless of background, and most patients are asymptomatic when they are diagnosed with an STI. We know that 1 in 2 people under the age of 25 will be diagnosed with an STI, and so we need to be having these conversations regularly because they can have life-altering consequences when not addressed appropriately. And because most of these infections are asymptomatic, we need to have regular visits with a healthcare provider to test for these infections. Now, I mentioned opt-out screening, which is one approach that the CDC suggests to address the rising rates of STIs in young people. And this is the concept of automatically testing 15 to 24-year-olds annually, regardless of their reported sexual activity, unless the patient declines. This reduces barriers and the stigma of testing, and the patient doesn't have to raise their hand and ask to be tested. It's just an automatic part of their healthcare visit. And studies show and support that this type of strategy does increase the rates of screening in patients. And hopefully this will get them the testing and treatment that they need. Now, if a provider doesn't automatically bring this up with their patient, patients need to be proactive. They need to ask for this screening at least annually or when they have a new partner, and whenever possible, be open and honest with their provider about what's going on in their life so they can get the best recommendation for their health. Now, if people need more information, I encourage them to visit www.hologic.com/wellwoman. We have a wealth of resources to help people prepare for their preventative visits on STI screening, cervical cancer screening, and ideally, they should talk to their provider and get the testing done that's recommended so that they can protect their health. Thank you so much for having me today.
And that does it for us. Thank you all so much for watching the show today. Make it a great start to the week, and I'll see you right back here on Tuesday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.